Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakbadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who taught me this truth and rule well. And I want to say shalom to Akim Akbat out there pursuing this truth diligently. Coming at you once again with another lesson. This one's titled, Esau is salty that we are the chosen people. All right. Once again, Esau is salty that we are the chosen people. Now, this comes from a YouTube short that I saw the other day, and I don't actually have the short because it's not worth watching. But I do have some comments that were saved, but I'll give you the context, right? So I'm gonna pull this up. So it is, as you can see, it's here. You know, I screenshotted it. It was called "How do you miss a standstill shot?" Hashtag content creator, hashtag funny videos, hashtag guns. All right, and it's this video of an op shooting at this dude while on Instagram Live, and the guy said, "You missed, right?" He just that's what it was. It was just some dumb shit. All right, that apparently 2/3 Jake finds funny. How is someone getting shot at funny? That's not something that's funny at all. But you know, hey, our people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Right, let's go and grab that opening scripture. My people are destroyed. I said our people, but you know, it is our people to me, but for the Lord, it's my people. My people are destroyed for lack, and then it'll come up in Hosea 4:6. It says, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power. I will also forget thy children." Okay, and that's, you know, who is the Lord's people? Okay, who is the Lord's people? Israel. Okay, Israel. All you have to look up is chose Israel. Right there, look, Isaiah 14:1. "For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob," and Jacob is who? Jacob's name was what? After he wrestled the angel, what was his name changed to? Right, Israel. "For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob." All right, and a matter of fact, where were we? I thought it was in verse 1. Slacky, I overshot it. Yeah, check this out. That's a great verse to pop up, because what comes after that? Verse 2. It says, "And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them." So these people shall be as a possession. Who are these people? The heathen nations. "The house of Israel shall possess them, and the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors." That's a little concerning sounding, isn't it? They shall take them captives, whose captives they were. Who were known as being the ones that were the most captive? You're gonna say, "Oh, the Israel," not the Israelites. It's like that was Satan. The Irish people. All right. Oh, you're gonna say the Irish people, right? Well, if you look deep back into history, you'll realize the Irish people are actually the original Irish were actually Israelites. Okay, if you look further back in history, which you don't, because you look at everything at face value, you never read anything. That's why you have these comments that we're going to see. So let's go and get those comments so you can see why it's so infuriating. So this Jake, you know, came on the comment board. Nothing wrong with him. You know, it just, you know, this is to show you, Jake, that look, not everybody gives a shit, okay? Not everybody cares about this truth. Not everybody cares about the Lord. Most of these people would spit in the face of Yahweh Shai if he was walking amongst them right now. A lot of these people would try to lay hands on the Lord and attack him and shoot him, walk up on Instagram Live, "Look, I'm gonna get the Lord." Right? That's what they would do. So this Jake too, not just Esau, Jake would do those things. You got to realize Jake was the one who gave up Yahweh Shai in the first place. Okay? Gave up their own guy. You know, and really he was none of them, because they're spiritually just wicked as shit. Okay? So you got to realize, and I hate to say it, but you got to realize that that's the time we're in. Jake wants to share. "Oh, did you know where Israel?" A lot of these people could give a fuck less. "Did you know you're Israelite?" "I don't give a single fuck." "Who the fuck is you?" "I ain't no Israelite. I'm a thug." Or to quote Charleston Wright, I don't want to be a Israelite. I want to be an ignorant, not knowing how to do something igga, right? That's what he said. You know, that's a quote from Charleston White himself. That's what he wants to be. He doesn't want to be an Israelite. What have the Israelites done for the black community? You're right. The Israelites haven't done shit for the black community, because you want to know what? We don't deal with the black community. Black means void of light. We're not fucking around with black people or Mexican people or Native American people. We're fucking around with the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, okay? Who are called so-called black people, who are called so-called Latinos, who are called so-called Native Americans, but we don't put those names on ourselves, you know? Me, I'd be considered a so-called Latino. I'm not Latino. I'm an Israelite. All right. You know, a brother a brother, you know, that look, you know, has a woolly like hair and dark skin. People would call him black. He's not black. That's an Israelite. All right. Or the man that goes by, you know, Running Foot. All right. He's chilling on the res. All right. Guess what? He's not a Native American. He's an Israelite. Now, do people call him a Native American? Yeah. Do people call the guy with woolly hair black? Yeah. Do people call, you know, and I'm a little light for a so-called Mexican, but you know, around that, what would people call me? Mexican. All right. Or whitexican, right? Because, you know, mixed, right? Mexican and white, right? But that's just dumb. There's no such thing as mixed. My dad's, you know, goes back to that seed line. So that's what I am. It doesn't matter what my mom is. My mom could be Chinese for all that it matters. All right. Anybody's mom could be Chinese, African, Arab. It doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter. It's about the seed line of your father. And we've talked about that time and time again. But this putting that out there, we don't put those names on ourselves. So no, we don't do shit for the black community. We don't do shit for the Latino community. You want to know why? Because you know what the black community's doing? Shit like this. All right, I'm shot at while on IG Live, and this happened. Bro, stay right there. Look, he almost got shot, blood. That's what the black community's doing. You know, that would the, you know what the Issacharites, not the Issacharites, like the Issacharites, you know, but they're Mexican community, no. Yo, ese vato gone, but stick him, Holmes. Fucking stick that guy, Holmes. Yeah, that's what's going down. You know what's going down with, look, watch one of those videos by like Tommy G or Peter Santinella, and go watch those videos on the res, man. Go and watch, look them up. Go look at the videos that they do on the res. There's another guy too, I can't remember who he is. Just look up videos on the res and see how they're living. They're doing the same shit, and you know, a lot of them are mixed in with Latinos too. So it's hard to tell who's Gad, who's Issachar. But gang banging, violence, drug selling, meth dealing. It's the same shit, man. So no, we're not gonna do anything for communities like that. We're gonna do stuff for the Israelite community, who happen to be made up of so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, but the so-called black community wasn't even made by so-called black people. The so-called black community was created by white people, institutionalized, man. It was created. They drop off guns. They started the rap music. It was all, so you're supporting something that was made to destroy you, Jake. And lo and behold, who would have fucking guessed? All right, who would have guessed that Jake would love something that's destroying them? It's dumb. But anyway, now I want to get that out there, because this guy Charles Melvin, look, Jake don't give a shit, dude. They do not give a shit. Like I said, I'll say it again, and I hate to say it, but it's true. These are the same people that would spit on Yahushai if he was walking around down here. They would try to rip his garments. They would try to shoot him. They would try to rob him, stick him up, right? These are the same people. So you think these people, especially people that are watching a video like this, you think they're going to give one single fuck? Absolutely not. They don't give a shit that they're Israelites. They don't care. It's not even within them. This is a 2/3 situation. But he came on here and he said, and it was pinned by the guy, it said, "Stupidity. We need to wake up, my people. We are God's chosen people. Follow his commandments. Time is almost up for repentance." The guy that posted the video says, "Most W comment, God bless." Right? So you got 10,000 likes on this, you know, about being the Lord's children. 10,000 out there. 10,000 people randomly know this, just chilling on comment board. And that's why, Jake, we don't take bullshit excuses anymore. I didn't know about the Hebrew Israelite. Stop fucking. Here, quote what you would say. Stop the cap. Cap. All right? Bullshit, man. Stop it. You're a fucking damn liar. You don't know about the Israelite. Where the fuck have you been? Where the absolute fuck have you been? Kyrie? No? No? Kanye? No? None of that? You didn't hear about what Bill Burr? No? None of that? You didn't hear about, you don't watch Charleston White then? No. You don't hear any of the other people talking about it. What about Kodak? You didn't hear anything about that? You didn't hear anything about that? What about being on the internet? You didn't hear anything about that? What about the comedians that talk about now talking about the, you know, Bill Burr and this other guy talking about? You didn't hear about that? I have a hard fucking time believing it. I have a hard time believing it. Matter of fact, I don't believe it. I think it's bullshit. I think you do know. All right, and I've already pulled up the statistics. Okay, we've pulled up the statistics before. If you go and look up Google Trends, you will see the Hebrew Israelites are on all-time high. So stop the bullshit, Jake. We know you know. Right? So continuing on. And these comments are fine. But, you know, you go on and you start getting these comments. It says, blasphemy at its finest. How is that blasphemy to say that we're the chosen people? Why is that blasphemy? That's not blasphemy. That's not what blasphemy is. Blasphemy is saying something against the Lord. How is this against the Lord? All right, there's blasphemy, all those Holy Spirit. There's different different levels of blasphemy. But, you know, how is that blasphemy? That's not blasphemy. If you look in the Bible, it directly says, you know, well, it doesn't directly. You have to read between the lines. But it directly mentions, if you look and read, that the Israelites are dark-skinned people. All right? And the Lord is a dark-skinned man. Right? All these things are detailed. So what the fuck you want about blasphemy at its finest? 177, just a fucking mad-ass, stupid-ass fucking cracker, man. Stupid fucking ass crackers, man. Mad about mad about everything. Fucking go cry some more, man. Go cry somewhere, man. Fucking salty-ass Edomite bitch. I'm fucking sick of these devils, man. These fucking people suck. All right? They're pussies, man. They're a bunch of fucking big-ass pussies. That's why they gotta walk around and tote guns and, oh, all right, I have the right to bear arms. That's because you can't bear hands. You fucking pussy-ass cracker. You can't do shit, man. You're just a pussy. That's all you are. So Pookie says, you are not God's chosen people. That's the truth. We're all just human. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? You're not God's chosen people. We're all just human. Well, guess what? Humans are God's chosen people, idiot. Okay? You're not a bank worker. You're just a human. You see how dumb that is? You don't work at Walmart. You're just a human. Well, what the fuck? Those are two separate things. Yeah, we're human, but we're also the Lord's chosen people. Fuck you on about, Pookie? Dumbass. Fuck, man. It said, and then this person comes back and says, we are God's children. That's the truth. And it says, don't argue. Leave it to God, my brother. Oh yeah, no, yeah. I mean, leave it. Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, you can argue it, but yeah, guess what? He's right in the point too. Leave it to the Lord, because guess what? The Lord's gonna, when the Lord comes back and you shit yourself, you're gonna know. You're gonna know. No, so here's some comments that really sparked the lesson right here. These are the ones that really pissed me off, and these are the ones I said, all right, I gotta go and do a lesson on it, because these Edomites are fucking salty. Joe Slows says, definitely not the chosen people. Look at y'all. 158 upvotes. Another one, James Kane. Isn't that funny? His last name's Kane. It says, if y'all are God's chosen, then we're all fucked. Well, that's interesting, James, because it seems that, you know, right now you guys are in rule and things are still fucked. So what? You guys should be helping the world so much, right? Because you're just the best thing ever, right? You're just the best thing ever, because if the world's so great with you in rule, right? We're already fucked. What the fuck are you talking about, James? We're fucked. We're all fucked if you're the God's chosen people. We're already fucked already. Look at the situation. You got men thinking they're women, women thinking they're men, children thinking they're grown, grown people thinking they're children, people walking, grown men, you know, playing around like they're babies in cribs and diapers. Look it up. It's a real fucking fetish. Women jumping around thinking they're horse people. All right. You got, you know, people having sexual infatuations with minors. All right. And I mean minors. All right. The 9, 4, 3, 2 years old. You have shit like Jeffrey Epstein's Island going down. All right. Yeah. The world's great, right? World's great. Inflation's at an all-time high. Can't afford to buy a house. Can barely afford groceries. You guys have really done a fucking, you know, tip-top job. Round of applause for the Edomites. Round of applause for the Edomites. You've done a great job. This place is fucked. What the fuck are you talking about? We're all fucked. You already fucked everything up, man. You already fucked everything up. We're fucked if you're the God's chosen people. No. It's gonna be better, because y'all fucked everything up. Look what happens when the white man's in rule. Look at the world. You got Russians bombing Russians, right? You got all these different people. You have a whole world controlled by, you know, small hats, right? That are masquerading as being God's chosen people, right? Here's the thing. You say the Jewish people over there, they're God's chosen people, right? Right? Well, they've done a great job with the world, have they not? Haven't they? Because you realize that all these big businesses are owned by Jewish people, right? You realize that, right? You understand that, right? You understand, like, all these, you know, BlackRock corporations. That's a Jewish-owned company, or mega conglomerate of a company. Let's go see what BlackRock owns. Let's go to Chat GPT and type in what businesses does, and I spelled it wrong, whatever, BlackRock own. It is the world's largest asset manager. They own investments in Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, JP Morgan, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer. All these are Jewish. They're all Jewish. Procter & Gamble, Coca-Cola, PepsiCo, ExxonMobil, Chevron, and Mobil, and all these things. That goes back to that oil empire that John D. Rockefeller did, and guess what nation he was? The small hat, 1948er, man. So you've done a bang up job, man. You look at the world. This is all at the hands of the white people and the so-called Jewish people. They've done a great job, haven't they? Haven't they? Look around. Look at it. Look at it. Go on the news. Look around. They've done a great job, right? We didn't do it. It wasn't us. We didn't do it at all. So it says, definitely not the chosen people. Look at y'all. And then this guy says, if y'all are God's chosen and we're all fucked. Yeah, in a way you are. You are all fucked, right? And I don't know which way you're meaning it, but if you're the chosen, we're all fucked, right? Like it's going to be in a bad situation. But no, in a way, you're right, though, because you're right. If we are the Lord's chosen, which we are, the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you Edomites are fucked. Because guess what? You're going straight into captivity, as we just read, man. Straight into captivity. Let's read it again. Isaiah 14:1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them. This is a future prophecy, right? Coming into the kingdom, right? And the strangers shall be joined with them, the strangers of the heathen nations, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. You're going to have to hang on to us, right? Not literally, but not physically, but literally. And everything you get is going to, you won't be even so much as fed unless we feed you. It says, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the Lord of Israel shall possess them in the land. It says, and the house, Slakia, and the Lord, and the house of Israel, the Lord as well, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. What is a servant and handmaid? First of all, that's not such a great word for you guys. What is a handmaid? Let's go and look up what a handmaid is. It is a housekeeper or a servant. It says, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. That doesn't sound so good for the Edomites, because the Edomites, the so-called white people, have been oppressing the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who go back to the house of Israel, or the 12 tribes of Israel who go back to Israel. So you're right. You guys are fucked. You guys are fucked. Now, to answer the question, it's not a question, but someone says, definitely not the chosen people. Look at y'all. Well, what do you mean, look at us? What do you mean by that? Let's continue on, because we got some more comments that are in the same vein. So over here it says, I like this one by this comment, Esau will fall. It says, and he's replying to that James guy. It says, yeah, because he said, oh, we're fucked. It says, yeah, because y'all ass going in them chains. Isaiah 14 and through 1 and 3 and Revelation 13 and 10. Let's go and get those. Let's see what he got. So Isaiah 14 and 1. I think we just got Isaiah 14 and 1. Let's go and get Revelation 13 and 10 though. And you got to realize when I looked that up, that was the first thing that came up when I looked up, dealing with that. So, this is Revelation 13 and 10. You can't get this way. You might be able to try to wiggle your way out of that one in your mind, right? The Isaiah, but you can't wiggle your way out of this one in this mind, because this happened. You can say, oh, no, you're not Israelites and we're not, Cool. Well, look in this one. You can't get out of this one. Revelation 13 and 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. You led into captivity, so you got to go into captivity, which goes back into Isaiah 14. It's synonymous with one another. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. So nice try, but it didn't work out for you there. All right. Now, more comments. It says, said God, put in a capital letter. He said, God, show respect your creator when you can. Well, here's the thing. Yeah, it should have a capital G. You're right. Because they use the capital G when it's referring to the Lord. But the Lord's name isn't God. All right. The Lord's name is Yahweh. Okay. And the Son's name is Yahweh Shai. So the name's not God. It's not. The Son's name's not Jesus Christ. All right. Or Christ. All right. It's the Father's name is Yahweh, the Son's name is Yahweh Shai. You can't reach the Father but through the Son, so you have to say Yahweh Bahashem. Bahashem means in the name of Yahweh Shai. All right, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai. And then you can say Bahashem in the name of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakak Wadash. All right, which Rakak Wadash means the Holy Spirit. So the Father in the name of the Son in the name of the Holy Spirit, right? That's how you can do it. That's how you're supposed to do it. All right, well, you don't necessarily need the last part, but you need Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, okay? You can add on Bahashem Rakak Wadash if you want, but you need Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. All right, those are the ones that absolutely have to be in the prayers, all right, and the calling upon the Lord. This dumbass Jake says, more than likely a Jake, shut up. Yeah, go fucking wear a 9mm bullet, bro. Go fucking wear a fucking 50 cal hat somewhere, man. We don't want you around here. That's why these Jakes got to go, man. Two-thirds of our people have to be cut off and die. Why? Because this is the mindset that they're in, man. Now, this dumbass fucking Uncle Tom of a Jake, all right? Nah, we are not, especially not acting like this. Explain how we are God's chosen people. We can't even get along for 24 hours. Bear with me. I need to get a drink of water. I haven't drank something in a minute. There we go. Get rid of that dry ass throat. So it says, explain how we are God's chosen people if we can't even get along for just 24 hours. Don't answer, because it's pathetic. You dumbass motherfucker. You stupid ass, dumbass bitch. You know, you really, and I'll refrain from the ad hominem attack. But this shows you, Jake, you ever want to see how dumb and fucking stupid our people is? Right here. Right here. Right here, right here, this T Sam, all right, dumbass. This is our dumbass Jake people ass, the stupid, this is our nation right here, T Sam, right here. This is how dumb our fucking people are. 2/3, nah, we not act like this though, bruh. No, fucking dumb, bro. We can't get along for 24 hours. Don't answer, because it's pathetic. How are we God's chosen people if we can't get along for 24 hours? Well, here's one for you. Let's go and get Deuteronomy, because we had Deuteronomy 28 and 48. But guess what? We're gonna go, first of all, let's go in, where do we want to go? You know what? We're gonna come back to that. We're gonna go all the way back, right? Rewind. Be kind, rewind. That's what we're doing. All the way back to the beginning. All right? It says, you are not God's chosen people, even if you were. Wrong message. Well, guess what? There's a thing in Deuteronomy 28, and it's called the curses. All right? And these curses were put upon the Israelites. These curses can be used to prove who the Israelites are, because we're the only ones that are going through these things, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Now, I know you're mostly talking about Judah, all right, who are the so-called Negroes, right, as they're called, and that's what you're talking about, and you're saying, oh, they're not the Israelites. Well, tell me who this fits, if not the Judites, the so-called Negroes, the so-called black people themselves. Who does this fit then? Who does Deuteronomy 28 and 48 fit? Because it ain't you, Esau, a so-called pale-ass, white-ass, red-ass skinned man, right? Therefore, Deuteronomy 28 and 48, therefore shall thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Interesting indeed, a yoke of iron. Let's just look up yoke of iron, and let's see the image. Uh-oh, that's not good. What is this first image from? MHS Collections, Massachusetts Historical Society, iron yoke collar. What is this from? It says this iron yoke collar was worn by a young enslaved woman. Oh shit, this is really fucking you guys' point up. It says in New Orleans, who had escaped from her slaver, Madame Cottrell. After the federal occupation of New Orleans, Captain S. Tyler Reed on the 3rd Massachusetts Cavalry had the yoke removed from the girl's neck. James Kendall Ewer wrote about this incident in his 1903 history of the regiment. An iron yoke, you say? That's kind of interesting. That's kind of interesting, is it not? Guess it wasn't black people, though. Oops. Guess it was someone else. What is this? What is this? Oh, why are there yokes? What are these iron yokes on the neck? What are these? That's not good. Oh, more iron yokes. Oh no. Oh wait, let's go more images. Uh-oh. Yokes of iron. Oh no. Who's this fitting, man? It's only fitting, you know, they show here a depiction of Native Americans too. And, you know, and we are all hands in hand, because just because you look one way, you look like a so-called Negro, or you look like a so-called Latino, or you look like a so-called Native American, there's so-called black people out there that go back to the tribe of Gad. And Gad are the so-called Native American, right? And then Issachar is the so-called Mexicans. And then you got Judah, the so-called Negroes, Levi and Benjamin, the Islanders, right? Matter of fact, while we're at it, I'm just going to go ahead and pull up the exact picture, because this could be some people's first time hearing about it, right? So let me go and get it. So here it is. This is the 12 tribes of Israel, all right, the sign that GMS uses, all right, Great Millstone. And if you're waking up, those are the guys you want to learn from. I'm not in their camp, but I follow those brothers and the elders and apostles. If you want to learn, go learn from them, right? So this is the 12 tribes of Israel, all right, and ignore the Star of David. We don't use that. That's just something from, you know, back in the day when it was added. You know, we don't use that anymore, you know, in this truth. So it says Judah are the so-called, so you have the southern kingdom, who are made up of so-called black people, right? You have Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Judah are the so-called Negroes, Benjamin the so-called West Indians, and Levi the so-called Haitians. Now, down in the northern kingdom, you have, you know, some would consider Simeon, you know, Dominicans to be the so-called black people, right? And Simeon, as we're gonna get, was called, well, what they would say Niger. Wasn't called Niger. He was called something a little bit else that sounds a little bit like Niger, but more with a hard G, right? So Simeon, the so-called Dominican, so Northern Kingdom is made up of what you call, Latinos, all right? Latinos and Native Americans. So Simeon, the so-called Dominicans, Zebulon, the so-called Guatemalans, the Panamanians, Ephraim, the so-called Puerto Ricans, Manasseh, the so-called Cubans, Gad, the so-called North American Indians, Reuben, the Seminole Indians, so-called, Naphtali, the Argentinian, to Chileans, Asher, the so-called Colombians, to Uruguayans, or, you know, the Brazilians. All right, Issachar, the so-called Mexicans. So this is the chart right here. So this is you are. All these make up the the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who are actually biblically the 12 tribes of Israel, descendant of who? Jacob, whose name was later changed to Israel. Right. So. And these people don't want to believe it. And they, you know, I understand. Hell, if I was in Edomite, I wouldn't want to believe it either. That would be a terrible thing to believe. I'd try to go out of my way to ignore it as well. So, can't blame them too much. You know, I'd be like, no, it can't be. It can't be them. It can't be them. Right? Like it's a fucking bad dream. You know, no, what is it? At night I can't sleep. I toss and turn. Fucking, I guess my mind's playing tricks on me. No, it was just a bad dream. It was a bad dream. I didn't find that out. It says, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. And if you go through here, all right, and look, man, use your brain, and really you can't use your brain because it's all through the spirit, the Ruach Kodesh, right? The Holy Spirit. It's all through the Spirit that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai has poured upon us, you know? But if you go into verse 49, listen, it says, the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. As swift as the eagle flieth. It's not just saying as swift as the eagle flieth. There's more in there, man. The Bible's a very deep book, and if you got to understand how it's worded, how it's written, there's hints at things within things, right? And it's meant like that, you know, so it's only the people of the Holy Spirit that can receive it, you know? So you outside looking in, people have read Deuteronomy 28 and they don't know what it's talking about. But who do these curses apply to? It's going through it, you will see it's all the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. The curses don't fit these so-called white people, okay? They don't fit these so-called Arabic people. They don't fit these so-called Chinese and Asian people. They don't fit them. It fits the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. And as swift as the eagle flieth, America, man. America, all right? Now we can continue to go down. What else do we have? In verse, like, what, 40, 50 something. But we can get down here. We can go and get, look, 41, thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. When were your kids stripped from you, so-called white people, and taken away and put in a different plantation? That never happened. That never happened. Because it's not talking about you. Or what else? We have, what else? 54 right here. Going back, because you wanted to say, you said, we're especially not acting like this Explain how we are God's chosen people if we can't even get along for 24 hours. Don't answer because it's pathetic. Well, guess what? I'm gonna answer anyway. Because right here in verse, where were we? 54, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil towards his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. Listen, Jake. Listen, who is that speaking of? So that man that is tender among you, Jake man, generally very tender. He can be rough if he needs to, but he's generally, a calm, cool, collective guy. Very delicate. His eyes shall be evil towards his brother. Yo, hey man, you won. What I win? The wet t-shirt contest, motherfucker. Bah, 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 bah. Now I had to wet you by fucking Ice Cube. That type of shit. Blam, blam, blam. Wet t-shirt contest, motherfucker. Fucking songs like Gorilla Pimp by Project Pat. Come get it back in blood by fucking Post Icy. All right. Look, man. What about the baby? I'll turn a ninja into a convertible. What? Watch out while I pop off. Some fucking lyric like that. Like what? Look, man. His eye shall be evil toward his brother. What's up, brother? Well, that's your brother, and now you're evil towards him. There, solve that one. And toward the wife of his bosom. Fuck you, bitch. You ain't shit. And here's the one that's the most revealing of all. And toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. 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 Who's doing that in droves? His children, which he shall leave. Who's known and always constantly ridiculed and mocked for leaving their kids and not being a part of the family and not taking care of their kids? The Jake man, he leaves. Oh, dad went out for milk. He never came back. Do you have a dad? I don't know my dad. Never did. The remnant of his children, which he shall leave. Y'all should be shitting your pants right now, you fucking Edomites. Y'all should be shaking. Y'all should be clicking the fuck off this video. Click off right now. Do it. Do it, bitch. You should be clicking. Oh my gosh. Go take a fucking cold bath or something. Get yourself a beer and sit there and fucking shake. And just, oh my God. These fucking coons are gonna be an authority. Oh my Lord. Margaret, can you believe this? Sit there and go fucking cry in your car, man. Go and cry in your car. You can't, what are you gonna say? You cannot refute that. You cannot refute that. The Jewish people aren't leaving their kids like that. They all got big, nice families. So what the fuck's going on here then, huh? Seems like there's been a lie told somewhere. And that's the case. That is the case. So we got more here, man. We got more. Let's go and get we can go on and on and on in Deuteronomy 28. We'll get this one though in 68. Some people hate this one because they're, we're not in Egypt. We are in Egypt, dummy. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 68. It says, "And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships." This is in spiritual context. The Israelites in Egypt were what? In hard captivity and bondage. We're going to be brought again into Egypt again with ships. Is this literal Egypt? No, but it's spiritual Sodom and spiritual Egypt. Oh, hey, for that dumbass that was on my board one time, that dude calling himself Irish and thinking that the Edomites are actually the Israelites and the Israelites are actually the Edomites, this one's for you, all right? Remember, no such thing as spiritual Sodom and Egypt. Well, all you have to do is type in KJV, spiritual Egypt, all right? Bam. Found a scripture. Revelation 11 and 8. "And their dead bodies," our people, right? Israel, "and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, Babylon, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified." Now, America is Babylon. Is it Babylon, the first Babylon? No, it's New Babylon. It's the new version of Babylon, because there was an old Babylon. It was destroyed, right? But now we're in New Babylon. And what's gonna happen? What happened to old Babylon, right? What's gonna happen to New Babylon, right? What happened in Egypt, right? What's gonna happen in Egypt, right? What happened in Sodom and Gomorrah, right? What's gonna happen in Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Get it? You see what all these things happen there? Great plagues in Egypt. Fire and brimstone being rated about Sodom. I can't remember exactly what entailed. What happened to Babylon? What happened to Babylon in the Bible? It was destroyed in some way, right? How did he destroy it? Attacked. No, that's a world history. Well, you know what? We'll go to the Chat GPT for this. How did God destroy Babylon? They say conquest by Persian Empire. Well, you know, regardless, one way or another. Well, can we get the biblical? It says, it'll be overthrown by the Lord and left desolate. Babylon destruction. Some of those, you know, some in there, because there's old Babylon and new Babylon, and America is the new Babylon. All right, the new version. So you got to realize, Babylon was destroyed by one means or another. You know, conquest. Sodom and Gomorrah were you know, the Lord rained fire and brimstone upon that. Egypt was taken by great plagues. It wasn't completely destroyed, but the people there were overruled by terrible, terrible plagues. All right, and you got to realize we're in spiritual Sodom and Gomorrah, in the new Babylon, right? And why is it spiritually this place? Because the same things are going down, the same things are happening to Israel while we're in there. We're being, you know, vexed and terrible things, right? And being persecuted, and the Lord is ultimately going to destroy them and cause great hells upon the Lord, just like He did. Well, not them, but the Lord is going to destroy this place with great persecution and terrible desolation and plagues and all those things, just like He did them, right? Got the words mixed up. So just like He did them. So that shows you, man. That shows you that we are spiritually in Sodom and Egypt again. So going back, it says, and the Lord shall bring thee, and just listen to what it's talking about. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships by the way whereof I spake unto thee, that thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen. So you shall be sold to your enemies, and no man shall buy you. Now, what does that mean? No man shall buy you. Well, no one's gonna. You see, no one's gonna buy you. You know, they're gonna sell you, but no one's gonna buy you. See, the slaves were bought. Well, think about how stupid of a sentiment that would be if you read it like that. You shall be sold unto your enemies, and no one shall buy you. Well, guess what? You wouldn't have been bought if you weren't sold, dummy. That's not what it's talking about. It says, there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. See, it says that no one would buy you. No, it just says that you were sold. Fucking retard. It says you were sold. All right, but no man shall buy you. Buy you is if you go back to the Hebrew, it's really talking about delivering you out of a situation. Okay, that's where the English kind of got it wrong. So you got to go back. You got to go and learn things, man. Get the blue letter. Go and get no man shall buy is quana. All right, which means to what? It says of, and it's not these, it's this one right here, of Yahweh originating, creating, and redeeming His people. He's not going to pull you out of that. All right, He's not going to recover you out of that situation. He's not going to redeem you out of that situation. All right, what does it mean to redeem? All right, redeem means to what? To retrieve and to recover. All right, to redeem. He's not going to pull you out of that situation. Say right here, this is the one actually. Compensate for the false or bad aspects. To save or rescue. He's not going to rescue you out of that situation. You're not going to be rescued out of that situation. You're going to be bought. You're going to be bought. You're going to be sold, but buying, no one's going to buy you out of your hellish situation that the Lord's put on you, right? And that's why you need every single person, and I'm not bigging myself up, every single person that calls themselves in this truth needs to be a self-proclaimed scholar. What is a scholar? Okay? A scholar is what? A scholar is what? A learned person. Someone who by a long study has gained mastery in one or more disciplines. A bookman, a scholarly person, a student. You need to learn, man. You need to learn. So, let's go and get more. Let's go and get Acts 3 and 1, because we were free-flowing with all these different scriptures. We didn't even get the ones I've had yet. So, Acts 3 and 1. We're not going to get those pictures anymore, because we already proved it. You've been fucking absolutely just round one destroyed. All right, not by me, but by the word of the Lord. Acts 13 and 1 says, now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers as Barnabas and Simeon, that was called Niger. It wasn't called Niger. That was called something else. And Lucius of Cyrene and Manaen, which had been brought up with Herod the Tetrarch and Saul. So, what does this word Niger mean? So let's first go back. Let's go back to the Blue Letter Bible. Got to go get it back in its original language, right? So Acts 13 and 1 says, who was called Niger. All right, and now it's going to say Niger here. Now, Niger sounds a little bit like something different. It's not Niger either. You know what it's pronounced as. But let's hear him say it.
Strong's G 3526. Niger. Niger.
Now, if someone walked up on the street and called you that, and they said, "Hey,"
Strong's G 3526.
They said, "Hey,
Niger. Niger.
that person just so happened to be pretty leprous in skin color, you probably want to whoop their ass. All right, well, someone in the world, you know, and it's true, you know, none of us worry about that. Call me a bean or a spick or what you will, I don't give a shit. You know, hell, you look white, call me a cracker, I don't give a fuck. Call me whatever you will. Where that's one of the things that's going to be put on us. Called by, you shall be a byword, right? You should be called bywords, and that's one of the things. All right, that's in Deuteronomy as well, I believe, bywords. All right, here, and you shall become Deuteronomy 28:37. You will become a thing of horror, a byword, an object of ridicule among all people where the Lord will drive you. There you go. And you go look at the Jim Crow dolls that they made. That was that not an object of ridicule? Go ahead and try to say something else. Now it says what? It means black. Black. Neger means black. And we know these Edomites can't pronounce anything correctly, so they just pronounce it with an I. All right, but going back, neger, all right, which means what? It literally means black. If you look at the word negro, all right, or negro, it's a Spanish word negro, which means what? Black. Neger goes back, and that's what? That is it's not a Hebrew word, but it's, you know, it's in the New Testament, so that's a Greek word, which means black. Okay, there you go. So look, as you get in the Bible more and more and more, it becomes you can't do anything, Esau. You can't dispute it. You can't deny it. You can't try to do anything about it. It's just so rock hard, solid evidence that you can't say anything but, you know, call us, you know, neger, right? and spicks and just leave and run away. That's all you can do. You just call us some names. Oh, you stupid black bitch, you Mexican fucks, as you run away. Yeah, go ahead and listen to some fucking Hank Williams in the car, fucking cracker. We don't need you around here. All right? So, and Hank Williams is actually pretty decent, but you know. Exodus 4 and 6 through 7. Here again. Now make this make sense. Verse 6, it says, and the Lord said furthermore unto him, and speaking of Moses, put now thine hand into thy bosom. And he put his hand into his bosom, and when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow. His hand was leprous as snow. It was white. Now, why would this be so significant unless he himself, Moses, was a dark-skinned man? And then it says, to show you, it went back to normal. In verse 7, because this was a show of power by the Lord to Moses before he went and, to lead the Israelites out of Egypt. All right, of course, through Yahweh, right? It says, and he said, put thine hand into thy bosom again. He said, put in there again, Moses. And he put his hand into his bosom again and plucked it out of his bosom, and behold, it was turned again as his other flesh, which was what? Brown. Now, you might say, oh, leprosy is talking about leprosy. Well, no, I mean, it can be talking about that, but leprosy historically was also used for white patches of skin. Now, if you look up leprosy, all right, or leprosy, or leper. If you look up leper, all right, you'll see leprosy. If you look up leprosy, leprosy meaning. Look up leprosy meaning, and you'll see what it's talking about. Chronic infectious disease. But look up leprosy meaning. All right, we're going to see some things in here. Now, let me go and try to find it. You're going to see a word here. Bam. Tazarat. Okay? Let's go and get it. So in order to do that, we got to go and get Exodus 4 and 6 again in the Blue Letter Bible. I got to leave it up. I keep on having to reopen it. So here you go. Now it's going to talk about and put in his hand his bosom. When he took it out, his hand was leprous. Leprous goes back to the word what?
Strong's H, 6879. Sarah.
All right, to be diseased of the skin. Okay, leprous. Okay, but leprous doesn't just mean the disease leprosy. It also talks about a white pigment, a lack of melanin in the skin. You go back to this. Look, how do we say? Sarah. All right, look at this. Look at this. Sarah, and look, words come up like vitiligo. All right, Sarah, or leprosy. Like, look at the hands, man. Look at the hands. Now, I looked at another thing. Did you know, if you look up, is vitiligo leprosy? I looked this up earlier. And it says, no, vitiligo is not leprosy. Both diseases can cause lighter patches on the skin, but they have different underlying causes and effects. Vitiligo is a type of leprosy. It's not the disease leprosy, because there's two different types of leprosy, right? The biblical leprosy, there's two different types. Leprosy as in the disease, where you get those bumps all over you. And then there's leprosy as in leprosy of the skin, a skin pigmentation disorder. Right? Vitiligo is what? Also known as leukoderma or white leprosy. Bum, bum, bum. There you go. White leprosy. Interesting indeed. Now, look at vitiligo. That's a type of leprosy of the skin. All right, that is a type of leprosy of the skin. There you go. So, nice try. Because why? They're normal colored skin, but now they have all these white patches. What's that white patches? That's the leprosy. There you go. So, man, we don't even need to keep going on, man. You've done. You've been cooked. At this point, we're just burning the chicken at this point, man. That's all we're doing. Right? So, first Maccabees 3 and 46 through 48, right? It says, and this shows you that who if we go and look up Paul, the apostle, John the Baptist, okay, let's go look up Jacob, okay, now let's go and look up okay, got a couple images here, okay. So let's go over here. First Maccabees 3 and 46 to 48. It says, wherefore the Israelites, right, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, if you've been carrying along, assembled themselves together and came to Masphah over against Jerusalem, for in Masphah was the place where they prayed aforetime in Israel. Then they fasted that day and put on sackcloth and cast ashes upon their heads and rent their clothes and laid open the book of the law, Bible, right? Wherein the heathen had sought to paint their likeness of their images. So the heathen had sought to get their images associated with the Bible, all right, and into the Bible. They wanted to get their images in there. Why? Because their images were not in there, all right? There ain't no pale people in there, but they wanted to replace all the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans with white, Caucasian, European Edomites, right, as they're called. So that's what they wanted. Let's see. Paul the Apostle, depicted as white. John the Baptist, depicted as white. Jacob, depicted as white. Yahushai, they called Jesus, completely changed the name, depicted as white. Now they try to say that it's a little Arab. It's still white. If you look at most of the depictions, they gave that one, but most of the depictions look just like this. Just like this. Just like this. Just like this. There you go. So, again, shows you that you're heathen. We know you're mad. You've hated us for a long time. You've hated it. Here's when you started hating us. You don't know, I don't know why I've hated you so long. Well, you want to know why you hate us? Here, I'll give you the reason. It's Genesis 27 and 41. This is when you started hating us right here. Really, you hated us before. This is when the hatred really just kicked in, right? Genesis 27 and 41. And Esau hated Jacob where, and Slack and preface. Esau sold his birthright. All right. Now, biblically, your birthright as firstborn, Esau was firstborn, entitles you to everything. Now, going on, all right, and he sold it over a pot of stew, by the way. Also, after that, Isaac was going to give Esau a blessing. All right, but Jacob, all right, with subtlety, came through and took the blessing. Now, why did that happen? One, the Lord wouldn't have let it happen. Everything happened. God does everything for a reason, right, Esau? That's what you say, right? In your Bible, when you're reading the Bible in those Christian churches, right? That's what you say. Say God does everything for a reason, but he messed up here. Is that what you're gonna say? He messed up here? Because if you look at these people that are reading the Bible, they get really mad when you look this up. They're like, why did God allow that to happen? Well, so now I thought you said everything happens for a reason through God, but now you're mad about this one specific thing because you're Esau and we're Jacob. That's why. And the real reason is because one, Jacob now has the birthright that Esau sold to him, which one made him entitled to everything, which would also make him entitled to the blessing that he was going to get from Isaac. If you really want to go down that deep level, that's just what I think through that. But when you really get down to it, the Lord wouldn't have allowed that to happen if he didn't want it to happen. Right? There you go. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. That's what he said, all mad. All mad. Cry about it. All right? But so you hated us because of the blessing. But guess what? You can hate us because guess what? The Lord hates you. The Lord doesn't hate anybody. The Lord doesn't hate. He loves. The Lord loves. He doesn't hate. Oh, the Lord doesn't hate. That's interesting. Where'd you get that from? Because I haven't heard that one before. Romans 9 and 13. As it is written, Jacob have I loved. but Esau have I hated. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. There you go. Jacob loved, Esau hated. Right there, plain. One more time. Romans 9:13. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. You get it? It's done, man. Done. At this point, we got a burnt-ass, black-ass chicken chilling in the oven because it has been cooked and cooked and cooked and cooked and cooked. All right? Someone's going to open up that oven and that just smoke going to come out. Right? That's you. You're an overburnt-ass chicken. First, you were, raw. You had no idea. But as we keep going through it and go through it, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, because this ain't me. This ain't me. I usually don't bring things out this good. This is just this. I'm just flowing through the spirit, man. So, hey. Gotta give credit where credit's due. That's all through Yahweh Shem Yahushua, not of me. I don't write any of this. It's just speaking it. I'm just speaking it through the spirit. I'm in what do they call it? I'm an autopilot right now, basically. All right. So Proverbs 29:2. Here's the last one for you to close out. Just a thinking thought for you, if you can think. I know you're kind of stupid, Esau, but here's one for you to think. Let's go back. It says, if y'all are God's chosen, then we're all fucked. You're right, because you're going into captivity. But another thing, a closing thought, is that you're going to be fucked. But guess what? The whole world's going to be in a better state. There's going to be peace, okay? Amongst the Israelites, at least. All right? You Edomites are going to go into captivity for 1,000 years. Yeah, that's it. Only 1,000. And then you'll be free to be destroyed, right? That's what's going to happen. You're going to be free from your bondage to be vaporized. That's what the Lord's going to do with you. He's going to take your ass out completely. So you're going to get, are we going to get into heaven? Yeah, you're going to get to heaven for 1,000 years, and you're going to be in hard captivity and bondage. And the other heathens too, the Chinese, the Moabites as they're called, the Ishmaelites, or the Moabites, the Chinese as they're called, backwards. The Ishmaelites, which are the Arabs, right, and all that, they're going to be there as well. All the other heathen nations as well. They're going to be there for 1,000 years as well. But there's a difference. After that 1,000 years, those nations are going to go back and do, they're going to have their land. They're going to still die. See, Israel, we're going to be immortal, all right? Because that's part of our reward. And, they're going to have a better life than they have under you right now, right? They're not going to be starving. They're not going to be, having to go and get welfare or anything like that. They're going to have houses. They're not going to be homeless. They're going to have nicer houses than you've given them. Because I like always to say, the houses that they're going to live in aren't going to be like bullshit. They're going to be bullshit compared to us. They're not going to be shacks. The kingdom isn't going to look like a shithole, man. They're going to be nice houses, Like, it probably, at least on par with, I'm staying in now, But they're going to look like shit comparatively to what we're going to have. We're going to have big, ornate houses with all sorts of gold and marble, and it's going to be amazing. But they're going to have nice houses, too. They're not going to live in so fucking, they're not going to live on some old block-ass house, all right, on 3rd Street, all right, just crumbling away. Yeah, that's where we put them. No, that's an eyesore, man. That shit looks like shit now. We're not gonna have that in the kingdom. They're gonna have decent houses, but it's not gonna be extravagant or luxurious at all. Just gonna be a home, okay? And they're gonna have pillows. They're gonna have beds. They're gonna have all these things. They'll still get sick, right? They're not gonna have the perfect bodies like we will, but they're gonna be in a better situation than we will be, And the thing is, you think that like, oh well, they're still gonna die. Yeah, they're still gonna die, but guess what? Reincarnation. They'll be back. All right, they'll be back. So their situation's gonna be pretty great, really. It's gonna be pretty great for them. It's not gonna be bad. Comparatively, I'm not gonna make it seem like the heathens are gonna be having a fucking whoop-de-doo woohoo time, but it's gonna be better than anything that they have here. All right, because why? Because our people are righteous, and that's how it's gonna go. All right, but Esau is just completely vile, completely wicked, completely evil. They can't get right. Okay, even the Moabites and all the heathen nations, we're gonna have to rule over them and keep them in order. But the heathen, it's not in them. They despise the Lord from the absolute fucking core of their body. They hate us with a terrible, never-ending hatred. They hate us. They hate us, and they have to go away. That's why the Lord's gonna vaporize them after 1,000 years, right? So Proverbs 29:2 to prove that. Well, I guess we should get it. Shall be gathered and burned. Esau. Here it is. Obadiah 1 and 18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining out of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it. There will not be any remaining of the house of Esau. Esau's going to go away as a nation. Gone. Now, what are those spirits going to be used for? Who knows? Who knows, right? Who knows if they're going to actually just be destroyed on a spirit level or you know, that's, who knows? We don't necessarily know what is actually going to happen there. But they're going to go away, not to return as Edomites ever again. So Proverbs 29 and 2, when the righteous are in authority, that's us, all right, in the kingdom, when we are officially righteous. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. That's what happens. And right now, the people are in mourning. So Esau is salty that we, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, are the chosen people. Well, boo-hoo, cry about it. You know, go ahead, go down to this store and get you some Kleenex or something to dry them tears, because there's no point in, you know, crying over something you can't help, right? Boo-hoo. So Esau is salty that we are the chosen people. And I mean, hey, sucks for you. It's great for us. And it's going to be even the heathens are going to be in a better situation under us than you. You know? And, oh, we so much better now over under you than the Edomite. They always constantly just stole from us. Constantly. All right? The Edomites are fucked up. They're fucked over the Moabite people. Constantly. They're fucked over all nations. The Edomites are a fucking menace, man. A menace to goddamn society. All right? As we know it. Esau is salty that we're the chosen people. They think that we can't be. Well, guess what? We know that we are, and we know that they aren't. So with that, we're going to go ahead and close out. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone that taught me this truth and rule well. Shalom to you brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring, keep the faith. We're almost out of here. Until next one, Lord willing, Shalom.